All right, guys, welcome to Triple J Games. Today we're going to be talking about Race for the Galaxy and why we think this game is timeless.
Yeah.
Pretty much, we're going to be covering Race for the Galaxy one more time. We did our past video, and then our other brother watched the video and had some really good feedback to add. So we're gonna be redoing the video, adding him also in the conversation. He's actually on the phone, and we have him like live from Chicago.
Hello.
So today, basically, what we're gonna be doing is gonna be talking about 3 points in particular. The first one is what the game is, how we came about knowing the game. Number 2 is how to play the game. And number 3, like our pros, our cons, and our recommendations. Super simple. So let's just start with number one. What is the game and how we came to play it? So I kind of want to ask everybody how they came to know the game, and mainly, I guess let's ask the guy from Chicago. How did we get to know the game? It was you and me that actually got to know the game first. So how was it?
Yeah. So the way it happened is that we used to play Magic at this place back when we lived in Miami, and this was like back in 2008. And we used to play pretty frequently there. And so one night we just showed up, and they were like the same group of people were playing like a different game. They were playing like this game where like everybody was just like drawing cards and like putting cards down and then drawing more cards, and then at some point somebody stops and puts one card down, and then everybody waits, and then everybody reveals. And like to me it looked pretty interesting. I mean, like these are the people that we play Magic with. So for us to see them playing, it seemed pretty cool.
I don't remember very well, but like, do you remember if we ever asked them if we could play along with them?
I don't think. Well, I don't think we asked them to play with them. I remember wanting to play the game, but maybe just, I don't think I wanted to play with them because So the thing about Magic players, especially about tournament Magic players, is like they're fairly not aggressive but serious. So they're playing to win. They don't play to like have like a fun, like friendly game. But so I remember that we wanted to get the game. I don't remember that much, and I think we bought it that same night.
Yeah, I don't remember when we bought the game. I don't know if it was that same night, but like I get what you're talking about. Magic players, they're like a little bit of elitist.
Yeah.
Kinda, they're very hardcore. Like if they play tournaments, they want to play for real. I think it's also because it expands their skills. Even if they try other games around, then there's something that you can learn from other games that you can always bring into Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
So
from Magic the Gathering, yeah.
I don't remember when we bought the game.
I think we would have bought it either that time or the next time because I know that we're pretty high. Yeah, I think it was also like $30. It wasn't that much.
Yeah. So that's how we kind of found out about the game and how we bought it. What about this guy over here? So how did you? It's pretty simple how you got to find.
Well, yeah, for me, you guys just brought it home one day, and I was a little kid who wanted to play with my big brothers, so I was just like, "Can I play?" And then I think I regretted that decision a few times because the game was so hard, but eventually I got the hang of it, and I think once we all got the hang of it, it became like a classic at our household.
So how long ago did we get it? You remember how long ago was it? Probably
It was like 10 years ago.
Like 10 years ago? When did the game come out? Do you know?
I think it was 2007. I think we got it a little bit, like maybe a year after it came out.
2007.
The game came out in 2007? So we got it like 1 year after it came out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I mean, the game is like super complex. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because we play Magic, and back then we didn't really have a bunch of board games or anything, but I was like,
but like we were also Magic tournament players, so we were also pretty hardcore about it.
Yeah, so I guess I kind of just thought that it was always like, oh, I guess board games are just fairly complex, and like they're supposed to be this complex like all the time, and if you want to get good at them, then you have to like learn the rules and master the rules first, and then like play the game well.
Yeah.
I mean, it turns out that like Race was an exception to that. a fairly complex game as it is.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the story of how we got the game. I also want to talk about into the first point that we said that what the game is and how we came to play it and find out about it is that's how we got the game. I also want to talk about what the game is. So for somebody that hasn't played the game or is the first time that hears of the game or has seen it played, like what the game is. So how would you describe it?
Well, I think the game is essentially like you're building your own galaxy, and you're essentially putting planets and technologies down in order to get points and resources. So like once you have those resources, you can trade it for even more victory points or to draw more cards. I mean, it's not very thematically heavy, like because there's
But
no
like, so you are building your own galaxy, but like, what is the reason of you doing that? Like that's just the theme of the game. Whoever builds the best galaxy.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much. That's essentially it. Yep. And it's not like there's not like a whole lot of theme because I guess no one can really build a galaxy, so to speak, or there's no real life equivalent for getting points,
yeah.
from resources. But I mean, I think it is quite frankly just like a game. It is a game. The theme is kind of just added on top of it, but it feels nice anyways.
Yeah, how would you describe the game?
The game?
Host.
Well, before I played Race, to me, I had never played a game like it. But yeah, essentially now I can really describe it as like you building like your own little galaxy on the board, and whoever builds the best galaxy usually has the most points, and essentially you get more points depending on the cards that you place down, plus the production of resources to get victory points. It's a lot of different things that make the best galaxy, kind of like it would be in real life if you were to build your own galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It lives up to the grand scale of the name, Race for the Galaxy.
Yeah, and I think like what's really great about what it is that like if you see people playing, I think we saw people playing it. It's like it's so interesting because everybody's just like so engaging. Everybody's like drawing cards. Everybody's putting cards down. Everybody's counting and eventually looking at somebody else's board, and then nobody's saying anything, but everybody kind of like knows what they're doing, and then somebody's like, all right, what's next? What's the next phase? and so like that's essentially what the game is. It's just a game of like actively managing your hand and your planets pretty much.
Going into that, so that's like the number one point. I want to go now into like the number 2 point, and I don't want to stay too much into the number 2, which is how to play the game. I don't want to for somebody that's just watching or listening, I don't want this to be like a video or audio about us teaching you how to play the game.
Yeah.
It's just like a quick, like if you have to see it and explain it to somebody without having the game in front of you, how would you explain the gameplay? So I don't know if you want to go a little bit into that.
Well, so the way that you play the game is essentially at the beginning you get a planet. That planet essentially kind of like...
And everybody gets one, right?
Right, everybody gets a home planet. Mm-hmm. So it kind of gives you like sort of a route that maybe you should try to aim at, or like an initial bonus, but you don't really have to stick to that. Then you draw like X number of cards, and then what happens is in each turn, everybody chooses a phase, and everybody does the phase that person chose.
So wait, hold on. So I'm gonna back up a little bit. So sure. For somebody that has never seen the game, mm-hmm. Pretty much the game comes with 5 starting worlds. This is the basic set. You come with 5 starting planets. Everybody picks one at random. You don't know which one you're picking, and then each planet has an ability or an advantage over the others.
Yep.
Then we shuffle all the cards that come in the game. You shuffle them together into the same library of cards, right? Then you put them in the middle of the table. You set victory points. You have to set 12 victory points per player that's participating in that round. So if we have 3 players, it will be 12 times 3. It'll be 36 victory points in the game. And then everybody will draw cards from the same library until they have 6, and then they discard 2, and then they start the game with 4 cards. And then from that, that's just the basic setup of the game, and then you have to start like developing your galaxy,
Right.
because the game has 5 different phases.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
So yeah. So what you're saying is right, and then everybody has like their cards of faces. Everybody chooses their face, puts the face down, and once everybody's chosen which face they want to perform, everybody reveals it, and every player does each of the faces. But the one player who chose that specific face gets a bonus for that face. Uh, and that's pretty much it. I mean, eventually you get to that. Like, there's two phases where you can either build technologies or planets, and there's other phases where you can draw or you can add resources to your planets and then sell those resources.
So how does the game end?
The game ends once you have 12 planets and technologies down in your galaxy, or if there's no more points remaining.
Okay. Now, the thing about the game before reviewing it is I also want to compare it to, like, for somebody that maybe has played other board games and is thinking about getting this one. What other board games would you compare this? Like, I don't. So this came out in 2007. I don't know if you know which games came before it and how was it inspired by.
Well, I mean, the game it's essentially a revamped version of San Juan, which in turn, San Juan is a revamped or card game version of Puerto Rico. Which, I mean, Puerto Rico is the one board game that came up with that idea that you can choose faces and everybody does the same face, except that in Puerto Rico you can just choose your face and nobody else can pick it. And so that's essentially what Race for the Galaxy did, is that they took San Juan and then just added a bunch of different cards and like improved on that concept and made it a bit more complex, but the gameplay is more variable too. Like it feels like a more complete experience, at least to me. Now, I mean, I play San Juan and I can't. It's too simple for me now. It's just like, oh, you just see a lot of the cards more often. It doesn't feel the same way.
Yeah. So that's like number 2. Now, I really want to get into this point, and this is probably going to be the point that we're going to drive in the most or drive through the most. And that's because I really want to review the game, say all the good things about it, all the bad things about it, and whether or not this is something we recommend, or who do we recommend the game for.
Yep.
So I don't know if you want to start talking about like the best thing that the game does that no other game compares to it. Do you know? do you have anything in mind?
Well, I mean, I think something that the reason why people love this game is the complexity, but I think it's also the reason why it's like hard for people to get into it. So it's like complexity is like a double-edged sword. But I think once you get through that complexity, I think what's so good about the game is the sort of the timeless aspect of it is that you just keep drawing cards and like you're kind of building like an engine, and it always there's a lot of different things that you can do with the cards that you're given, and it's always different, but it's always like satisfying no matter what. I think that mechanic of just wanting to draw more cards and getting to draw more cards is like underrated. Like drawing cards is like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you?
I mean, I agree with the engine building part. Like it does feel like, I think it's the best game I've ever played, where like it just feels like you every time you play a card, you're like adding this piece to your like you said, like an engine that essentially is gonna win you the game. And it's like a different puzzle every time, because even though you're playing with the same set of cards, you never draw them in the same order, and you usually play the exact same strategy every game, because there's just so many ways you can go about winning. And sometimes it can go horribly wrong, but when it goes right, it just feels great. It feels like, wow, I have the best galaxy, and like nobody can ever tell you that like you didn't outplay the rest of the opponents.
Yeah, if you manage to get like a quick army at the beginning of the game and then are able to draw the army cards, that's like the best.
Yeah.
It's like the best feeling. Even if you don't win, you still feel like oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's something about the game that I remember when we first got it, and this is something that we didn't talk about in our last video, which is kind of weird. if for somebody coming into into the game. So you get the game, you draft your cards, you're building your galaxy, and some of the cards are military cards. So that means that you get to conquer other planets because your military allows you to conquer those planets. But throughout the game, you are never attacking anybody. And it seems counterintuitive. I remember when we first played it, we thought that we had to attack each other. And it's like, how do I attack your galaxy? How do I conquer your stuff?
Yeah, I remember I was like a little kid. I was like 14, whatever. I was really young. And no, I was younger than 14.
No, like 12 at
I was
least.
like 12 or 11. And I just remember thinking, like, playing the game, I'm like, all right, but like, I'm not interacting with you guys. Like, I'm just building my own crap over here. I mean, while you guys are building your own crap over there, I was like, why are we not doing anything to each other? Does that never happen? I remember that was such a new concept to me, because like, but like the game does a good job of balancing that with the phases. The fact that everybody has to play what everybody pick as their phase makes it so that you care about what other people are building and you care about what other people are gonna do, because you need them sometimes to pick a phase that you need. So it's a great game.
Yeah. Now, so yeah, the pros are all of that. I think one that like you really mentioned that I never thought about until just now that you say it is like you get to draw a lot of cards in this game. Actually, your maximum hand size is 10 cards, which once you get to 10 cards, you feel amazing because you can develop anything you want. You can settle anything on the board that you want. You don't have any boundaries. And like I don't know, you just want to get, I don't know, when you get to those 10 cards, it feels so rewarding because you know that like something's happening in your galaxy that it's amazing. Something's about to blow up. Like it's gonna be amazing.
Or like drawing 8 cards and then finding out that you can play that like 6 costing card and then you discard everything and you just play it and you know it's gonna give you like 10 points at the end of the game. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, actually one of the things that usually happens to me when playing the game is that I have like 2 or 3 different cards that I really want to play, and once you get like and you want to draw more cards so you can play them, but sometimes you're just like, oh man, I have to sacrifice one of these if I want to play this turn, because if I don't play it this turn then it's really bad for me, but then I have to give up this one card, and it makes you like think like what card is more worth it than the other. So it's also like a balance of like what is the right card to play, because so many of them are really good, you know.
Yeah. So those are all the good. So the good is like the game has a lot of complexity. It lets you draw a lot of cards. Your hand size is, I don't know, 10 cards for any card game. Like to me, it's a lot of cards for you to handle at the same time. So it feels really nice when you have all 10 cards. Also, you're always engaged because everybody is picking different phases, and every single player goes through the same phase, even though somebody else picked it. So you're always engaged throughout the whole game. You don't have to, even if it's not your turn, you get to do something, even if you didn't pick something, because you're forced to go through every single one of the phases. Now, going through some of the cons and some of the bad things of the game, what would you say there some of the cons are?
Well, you know, like I said, I think that the complexity is probably the complexity, because you can't. It's really hard to introduce new people to it. It's just like if you want to introduce somebody, you have to explain to them the game, then they have to learn it, and then while they're learning it, it slows everything down. Like this is supposed to be like a 15-minute game, or like, I mean, it says 30 minutes, but nowadays we just play like in 15 minutes. It slows it down completely until they learn everything, and then you're probably gonna win anyway against them.
Not probably, you're gonna win, and you're gonna win for like the first 10 games.
Yeah. Yes.
And it feels terrible. Like you don't want to destroy somebody like that.
Yeah, you don't want to do it to your friends. You don't want to do it to your girlfriend. You don't want to you don't want to just like sit somebody down and be like I'm gonna win like the next 5 games or so. But it's a fun game. Yeah, I don't know if I know anybody that I hate enough to put him through that, but like, I mean, and I guess I'm jumping a little bit ahead, so I'll stop. If
No,
you
no,
guys
no.
have any-
No, I think that's good. I think the complexity of the game is definitely one of the main cons of the game, or one of the major setbacks. It's not something I think, and this is something that Jose and I mentioned on the last video. The best way for you to play the game with somebody that already plays it is for you to get your own copy of the game, learn it on your own, and once you have learned it, then we can play together. Because if we
Yeah.
play together, I don't know, it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be a massacre. It's just not gonna be pretty.
Yeah, it's
Or alternatively, I think you should get the game if you have somebody of your same skill level that you can play.
well, yeah. You should get it with like a group of friends who also have never played it before. You know, because the great thing about us is that we all learned to play the game pretty much at the same time. I mean, I was a little kid, so it took me longer, but we like all essentially got the game at the same. We all started playing the game at the same time,
Yep.
and
And we've all sort of grown with it. I mean,
oh yeah, I mean, this is a classic in our household.
yeah.
And also it's actually such a like just our game that like we've tried to play it with other people, like, you know, and like it just we never end up playing them with other people for too long because they don't like it or it's too complex for them, and then we just end up playing it, the three of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's correct. And we play with the variant where like we play two faces as opposed to just one face, and then the game goes ape shit. Everybody's doing everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we play that.
We do.
we play, and I think that's more fun sometimes because you can pretty much do everything that you want,
Yeah.
except that everybody's also doing what they want. So you have to really build a good engine.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention in like the pro section, one of the great things about this game is that even if you're playing with 4 players, the game usually lasts the same amount of time because since there's
Or
4
shorter.
or shorter because since everybody's playing a different phase, we go through more phases faster, which speeds up the whole game, making it so that the game doesn't ever really get longer, which is great because sometimes if you play something like Twilight Imperium, the more players you add in like 3 extra hours per player.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
game doesn't have that problem, which I think is great.
Do you have another con to add?
Yeah.
No.
So I think I have another one. So the game has, on the basic set, the starting set, it has 2 cards that are just
They have the opposite
one
problem.
They have the opposite problem. One is very underpowered, and the other one is quite overpowered. So the Galactic Trendsetters is a card that is super overpowered in the game. As soon as you play that card,
It changes everything.
it changes the whole game.
It sends the
Yeah.
trend.
It sets the trend. It's the Galactic Trendsetters. So it's a card that, like, as soon as somebody plays it, if they take advantage of it, they will win the game. And if you get to fit, like, as soon as they're on the board, you have to win the game as fast as possible because otherwise you're gonna lose.
Yep.
You have to get as many points as you can. And the other card is Old Earth, which suffers from the opposite problem of Galactic
So
Trendsetters.
since the thing about Old Earth is that it's a home world.
So yeah, on the starting worlds there's 5, and you pick one at random. So if you get stuck with Old Earth,
if you get stuck with Old Earth, you're pretty much playing from behind. Like you're trying to catch up because the advantage that you get is that you get 1 more victory point and you have a consumed power which is worse than any other consumed power in any other home world.
yeah. So it forces you to play a game style from the get-go, and then getting the initial cards in order to play that game style is kind of annoying. So those are the cons, I think, for the game. So
Another possible con that I was thinking of is that maybe there's not as much player interaction as you will get in other games.
Okay, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everybody's kind of just like drawing cards and doing everything quickly, and everybody is engaged in the game. But like literally all the interactions you're gonna get from people are like, all right, next phase.
yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And
Yeah.
the game is confined to your own strategy. And like you're interested in what others are doing, but there's not a whole lot of banter going around the
Yeah, so like the game, if you want to be really good at it, you do have to pay attention what other people are doing, but you're only paying attention so that you know what they're gonna pick next in terms of faces, so that it helps you. So you're never like dealing with the other person in like directly. You're almost just wanting to predict what they're gonna do, so you can do it for your own benefit.
I mean, you could essentially play the game solo. Like, I know it says 2 to 4 players, but you can just sit down and like pick faces and then just play the game by yourself. Because
Yeah.
I mean,
I think one of the expansions.
it's
added,
not as
like,
fun, but you can. Go ahead.
I think one of the expansions added the solo variation, which I don't know if a lot of people do, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
I like when games have solo variation. I think Suburbia has that solo variation.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
who do you recommend this game to?
I recommend it to somebody that wants to get like a new complex game for them to dive really deep into it, but also someone that has somebody else to play that with of the same level, because otherwise it's, if you've played the game before and you try to teach it to someone else, it's a painful experience.
For both parties.
For both
Yeah.
parties. One
For
is
both,
you're
yeah.
gonna be winning all the time, and two, the other person is gonna be losing all the time. It's not gonna be fun for either one. Because like if you already learned the game, and you know you're probably already a very high end level player, that it's not fun winning all the time because you're always expecting a challenge.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, I definitely recommend the game to people that really want to dive into a really complex game. So like, I've never played San Juan, but like
Or Puerto Rico.
or Puerto Rico, which you mentioned are very similar.
We jumped the gun.
Yeah, on
Straight.
this one we just went straight for Race for the Galaxy.
yeah,
but
we
like
should
but like
find
we
it most complex.
but we used to play Magic the Gathering, so Magic the Gathering can also get quite complex. So we were just used to diving really deep into complex games without any fear of doing so. So I recommend it for somebody that is willing to just add a level of complexity. If you play Magic the Gathering, this is a good game for you to get as well, because it will teach you other kind of skills that you can translate back into Magic the Gathering.
I agree.
Yeah, it helps you a lot. But anyway, it gets our J of approval. It gets my J of approval. What about you guys?
It gets my J for sure. We can guarantee 10 years on this game at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets my J too.
All right. So with that being said, see you guys later.